Hello, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and show you Flipgrid, some of the things you can do with it as a teacher, and how to integrate it into Canvas. Whether or not you felt that it was pretty good in the personal classroom, like the traditional in-person classroom, that might not apply to you in the virtual classroom. I find that if you want to get a genuine discussion for the kids, then while the discussion board app within Canvas is a good way to get them, typing and chatting to each other that way, and getting, well thought through and very quality responses. If you want to add a genuine personal touch to it, or have them practice their presentation skills, which is very, very important, then Flipgrid is really good for that. It's a very versatile app just in terms of the fact that it is pretty basic, but has a lot of uses. So let's kind of go through how we can do that. And the first thing we want to do is we want to integrate Canvas into Flipgrid. So we want to have the ability to use Flipgrid as a module. And that is going to be, I'm going to explain some of the things you can do with it once you have Flipgrid modules, but let's go ahead and show that because it's a little complicated. Now, Flipgrid has posted their own guides on doing this. They are written, so if you prefer that way, that is a perfectly valid option. I personally followed that, and I found it a little obtuse. So I'm going to sit down and kind of explain everything as I go. The first thing you need to do is actually log into Flipgrid because we can't do anything unless we're logged in there. And you'll see why in a second. So we're going to click the Educator Login button. We all have Canvas accounts already, and you're going to click Microsoft Login. And then you're just going to go ahead and click on your account. This is me. And I already have a couple groups on here. You might not see any. But we're going to go ahead and actually not stay on this page. We need to go to our profile. This is the default profile picture. You might have something different if you've already played with Canvas or Flipgrid a little bit. But we need to go to the section called integrations. And what this does is it gives us the ability to go ahead and add Flipgrid onto Canvas. Now, if you don't have these over here, you can add a new integration. Just adding a name to it. So I can say this is going to be my test canvas or whatever. And that has an integration now. I'm going to stick with my own here. So you can see here that we're going to have a consumer key and a shared secret. And we're going to need those in a moment. What we need to do now, though, is go back to our Canvas page. We're going to have to do this for each Canvas page that we have. And it's unfortunate, but just is how it is. We need to go to settings and go to apps. From apps, you're going to see a whole bunch of stuff. And you can see I have Flipgrid over here. So I could click on that. But what I'm going to do is what you guys should do, which is just type in Flipgrid in the search bar over here. And there's Flipgrid. So you can see here, it tells you some of the benefits. Canvas has a few really nice things here. Canvas, when you integrate Flipgrid with Canvas, only the kids from your student Canvas course can view and post in your Flipgrid, so that's pretty nice. And they can only do it through the Canvas app, so you can't just go onto Flipgrid and sign in. You actually have to be on Canvas. It also integrates into the speed grader. It is one of the few ways to actually get a video to load onto Canvas within its own software. It can be occasionally done with other certain files, but I find this to be the easiest way to get a file quickly graded, or at least a video one. PDFs are good if you want images. Anywhere, anytime, and I mean, like that's just basic stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this app. When you click on Add App, which lets you add the app to your Canvas options, you're gonna see here, you're gonna have the name of it. You can change it from Flipgrid if you really want to. You should just leave it as Flipgrid though. We need our consumer key and our shared secret, which is why we logged in earlier. So I'm gonna use the one I was using before. So I just click copy on the consumer key and then paste. And then I copy my secret and I paste that. And I click add app. And just like that, you can see it's installed over here. I have a couple other things installed on here, but we're gonna focus on Flipgrid. If I refresh my page, which I need to do now, you'll see that it's an option in the navigation down here. If you really want to, you can bring it up, but I don't actually recommend that because what we want kids doing is accessing Flipgrid through modules, not through this page. So we're gonna leave it down here, and of course, you know, when you're setting up the page, you should be sending some things down, like you don't really need like a rubrics page of it visible. What I'm gonna go ahead and do now is I'm gonna pull up my modules. So what integrating Flipgrid into Canvas does primarily is it lets you make Flipgrid modules. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like. So I'm going to create a module name. This is just going to be where I keep my discussions. So if I was doing a virtual class, this would be where I would keep any of my discussion questions. And now I'm going to go ahead and add an individual assignment. Flipgrid can be integrated through assignments, so make sure you're using those, not discussions. That's important. If you want to use like a Canvas discussion on text, you can do that, but you can't integrate Flipgrid into one of those. So I'm going to call this my Flipgrid discussion 1. Boom, it's in there, and I can click on it. Right now, it's not actually a Flipgrid assignment, but we can use the edit function to make it one. So I'm going to set some point values to this. You know, you would normally set this to a minor grade, but this isn't actually from the district, so this Canvas course doesn't have that on there yet. You can make it a group assignment if you really want to, but we're going to worry about that some other time. So in order to actually have this as a Canvas assignment with Flipgrid, you're going to need to change the submission type. So when you start, you'll see no submission type. And we need to change it to an external tool because Flipgrid is an external tool. It's an app that we added. You can click the Find button, and then you just need to scroll down to Flipgrid. Select that. And if you click Load this tool in a new tab, it won't close out of Canvas, which is nice. Of course, you can set due dates, sync to SIS, and all the basic stuff. But really, all you need to do to change this into a Flipgrid assignment is this right here. So I'm going to save this. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to click on this discussion. So when I do this, it's going to connect my Flipgrid to Canvas now, which will create a course group. And if I'm actually going to go back to this, you can see I have my example course as a group now. So this means I can start adding stuff here. And on top of that, you can see that Flipgrid discussion 1 has been added. Just to give you guys an idea of how this will work in the future. Let's say I wanted to create another assignment. So if I do that, let's say I have my Flipgrid discussion. And now that I start having more stuff, I can start editing from here. But let's say I'm going to have my Flipgrid discussion 2 here with 100 points. And I open up more options to set it up with the external tool on Flipgrid. And loading it in a new tab. It's really good here to still add your instructions here to set your expectations with kids. You can set those in the Flipgrid itself, but it's good to do that here as well. Before I go, I'm also going to explain rubrics, but we'll come back to that in a second. So here I might say, discuss chapter 2 of the text. Be sure to share your unique thoughts and add something to the discussion. Do not repeat what others have said. So when I do this, you can see that I have Flipgrid discussion 2 here. If I refresh the page here, you can see that it has not been added here. I have to actually click on this. And now this is going to be in my example course as Flipgrid discussion 2. So you need to make sure that you're doing that. So let's go ahead and open up Flipgrid discussion 1. And you can see here that there's not a whole lot to this. My students can start recording responses once I publish this, because they're not going to be able to click on it until I do that. But you can see I have a join code here.